return to the Lord with tears, with weeping, with mourning, with your whole heart, recalling those words. It brought me back to when I was newly ordained, and in my first parish as a priest, we would go on communion calls on First Friday, and there was one lady, I would visit her. She lived all alone. Little Italian lady, almost like the stereotypical ones that you hear. Very small, dressed in black with a sweater. When I would come to the door, she'd be so happy. I'd go in, give her Blessed Sacrament, speak for a little while, and then as I would move toward the door, she would start to cry. And she would cry with just absolute shaking of the body. And as she would open the door, the storm door, she'd hold it, and with her head down, she would still, "Nobody come, nobody come, nobody come." It broke my heart. Her loneliness brought her to grief and to weeping in such a way. And I spoke to some of the people in the parish, this one young lady who was a nurse. I said, she says, "Oh, we see her every day." "Oh yeah, we go every day. Hello, Mrs. So-and-so, how are you doing today? Let's sit down." And we talk and we do the bandage, whatever she needs. Yeah, every day, the visiting nurses, we're there. So I said, "Oh, she's got this down to a science." Make sure you have somebody come. But then I thought, no, it's her forgetfulness. No matter how many visits, in between time, you forget. And that's a grief and a pain that she held. And I can still see her, I can still hear her, and I still hold her with very great dearness, if that's a word. Another family I would visit, the father, the daughter, and the mother. They would be so very happy when we'd get together, we speak, I'd give communion, and as I would give communion to the lady, the mother. There was sickness in the family, there was need. The body of Christ, and she would clutch her chest, and she would receive, and she would close her eyes and say, "Oh Jesus, don't make no trouble." Can you imagine? This was the pouring out of the heart. This is the rending, not of the garment, but of the very soul, letting out her grief. The crosses that she'd been carrying were so much. "Jesus, please, no more trouble. Be with me, help me, lift that cross off my shoulder." So here were these two people, and I could tell other stories, but enough is enough. The true grief that we are able to experience has to be the grief of sin. The monkey on our back that just every year seems to come back and come back and come back. Why am I short-tempered? Why did I say this? Why did I do this? It can happen that Jesus says to us, "I know sometimes you forget I'm here with you. That's why you do those things. You forget that I'm here with you all the time, with my grace, my love, my mercy, my forgiveness, and even my arms around you when most you need it. And you're trying to do it by yourself and you feel so alone. You forget the times that you prayed and I was with you. That you heard a song or a hymn and it made you feel so good. I'm here. I always come to you. In time of temptation, turn to me. I'll be right at the door." And when sometimes things begin to get so difficult for us, And in our daily experience, every one of us, we have those things that just weigh us down, or that we're terrified of, or those things that somehow seem to be bringing the whole society into, what are we going to do? It's beyond us all. Well, yes, it is beyond us all. We can only do so much. I like that lady that said, with the host still in her mouth, Jesus, don't make no trouble. Being able, when all of these things happen, remember, go back to him. That's what all the scriptures are about. When people would forget and go on and do other things thinking they could do it on their own, calamity. And repeatedly, throughout history, sending prophets, sending kings and teachers and all of those throughout the scriptures, always saying, come back to me. I will bring you into a land flowing with milk and honey. Just come back. And when you don't forget the graces and the blessings, then in the hard time, we can sing that song, you know. I go to sleep counting my blessings. I don't count sheep, I count my blessings. Well, forget it, I tried both, it doesn't work. I'm still insomniac. But the fact of the matter is, counting blessings may or may not bring us to sleep, but it can bring us peace. Nobody come? No. I come every moment. I'm here with you. Then instead of being in that broken-hearted position, I remember. Hey, yeah. You were here 5 minutes ago. Yeah. This is the one. She came the other day. Yeah. I have a lot to be thankful for. I won't forget again. Don't make no trouble. There'll always be trouble, but you're the one who lifts the cross and takes it on your shoulders. And you ascend the cross. And you carry my troubles. So the church comes together and says, blow the trumpet, call a fast. Wear the ashes on the forehead for today, but inside for the rest of Lent. Until that cross of dust gleams in the cross of gold through our baptism into the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Amen.